This is us again, and we're going live. We will be discussing. Uh, we'll be dealing relationships, and we'll be discussing different a different angle into personality. Yeah, we tend to have different types of personality, and this kind of personalities affect us or affect the person with the personality type. Some are introverts, some are extroverts, and then we have some introverts that are introvert and they are not really what you see. They don't seem to be giving out too much when they are in public, and they also don't seem to be doing what we actually see them do when they're in private. So as we all go into the topic of today, we all want to make better relationships with those that we care about. And also we must be prepared to evolve with time, and the resistance to evolve, is the one that will make us either grow or we get stuck. So how are we going to make sure that this kind of evolution that we share, how come we are the only ones to talk about the things we see in our partners, in our children, and the rest of the public don't see that? How is it possible that one person could be such an angel, he can't even kill a fly, but all of a sudden, how come this person can bring out so strongly the animal in them that no one really believes what this person has done when you actually report? And how come also we may look different when we are in public, and we are also so different when we go into those quiet places, into our comfort zones? And what do we do if we have a disorder that others find socially not fit? What do we end up doing, and why do we do what we do? So for those that will be joining us, this is your presenter, Emily Mwale, doing specialized education to families, helping families deal with trauma and personality disorders, and also the very special accompaniment to a child who has problems dealing with their emotions. They could be mentally handicapped, they could be just normal, but they are living in a distressful situation. So this shortly going to be what we will be addressing. I will not go in any order. We will go as occasion demands. So we know friendship is an essential partnership between two people or three or a group, but they say birds of the same feather flock together. But I'd like to contradict this theory, because we have found the opposite attracting. You found the biggest gangster attract a saint. You found the biggest bulldozer who bullies everyone partner with someone else who is also the very opposite of them. They are not bullies, they are nice, they have empathy and much more. So when we make friends, how come we don't see those kind of things, the telltale signs? The telltale signs that this thing that we are doing together that looks odd, but others cannot see because we are different people. We are one person in the house, we are another person in public. I will give an example of a child. They will go to school, they'll be dramatic, they will do manner of things. The teachers will be upset about them and they want to send them home, to parents who don't know that kind of child that is there in school. And the other way around, a child in school who is a saint, but a demon at home, they destroy everything when they're upset. They can even, if you put your gun carelessly at home, they can even take you out without thinking twice. They have just such a temper and no one else knows, because when they're in a place where they don't feel secure, they hide it with a face that looks nice. And then when they're in their comfort zone, when they're in their original place, they now explode and they show you stuff that you will be asking yourself, oh my God, what the sugar brought me into this situation. So, in the society we live in today, we have different kind of prisons. We have the mental prison, where it is where you have put yourself and you believe that is how you are, the way you are, and there's no one and nothing can change you because you think you are grounded and you think you are okay. Then there's another prison, which is the people we end up being friends with and form partnerships with. Sometimes even we form companies together, and we become prisoners of these people. They hold us hostage with their manipulation, the gifts they give us that we end up finding it difficult to say no. And also, we find it difficult to walk away to people who sometimes might seem to be too nice, and that is too good to be true. So when you try to confront this kind of a person who is actually a double-faced person, for those who watch television, I would use an example of one super lawyer in the series How to Get Away with Murder, by the character Anais Keating, a child who actually in her childhood suffered serious abuse. She was so traumatized for years. She found a way of defending herself from this kind of thing that she was going through. And when you notice her in court, she's domineering. Her word is final. She thinks on behalf of everyone else. Why? Because when someone else thought in their place when they were young, that broken child in her, when she was young, I'm talking about the film, not in real. In real, she has a different story. And Madam Keating looks for someone who understands her, and that is the person she falls in love with. The only problem that we have other people who have deep double personality type. You don't marry the person you're married to. You're married to the person that you wanted. And then the real person is either in there, a person who is capable of manipulating, cheating, defrauding other people, and they're even defrauding you because they have stolen your heart and they will not give it back to you. These people would have a tendency of making their victims feel that they need them so much. So Madam Keating felt she needed her spouse so much. Yeah, she needed a spouse so much, so dearly. Why? She suffered from inferiority complex as a colored child in a community that is properly of a different skin tone to her own. There was the systemic discrimination and segregation that she was growing up in, and her way out, because when she suffered as a child, there was no one to look out for her. So she gets into a union that she feels is convenient. Many people have end up in unions like that. Some lasted for some years, and then there was a drastic divorce. Some you end up in the mortuary, or we never find your body, because that is how it ends. Because when the person that you are connected to, when you discover who they are and you try to expose them, or you really try to confront them, they might give you hell. And that hell, it depends on how strong you are. Some people, you're not really in a relationship with them. They're trying, actually, they're creeping around you, knowing that there's something that you need. They can see through you, because they remember, there's this kind of very intelligent personality type who is also narcissistic. They take their time and they study you like their research, as if they're going to do a thesis somewhere to defend it. Yeah, they know what your strengths are, they know what your weaknesses are, and they also find out what your secrets are. So anytime you're trying to do anything with them, they blackmail you with, I will expose that which other people do not know. I will tell them this is how you actually made it to law school. I will tell them this is how you actually made it to medical school, and you accepted when others who were supposed to be good enough were actually thrown out. Yeah, I'm the only one who you need in this place, because you are alone and everyone else is against you, and they would never believe you. This is all. I am all you need. I'm actually all you have. Without me, you are nothing. Now, that is the typical manipulation of a narcissistic sociopath, because actually the sociopath himself fears to be left alone. They fear that when you leave them, others will know what happened. What happens when people break up? They speak out about what it is that made them to actually fall out. So this person will try, if you're breaking up with them, they will try to threatening you. In French, they say the menace of either death, or exposing that your big secret, or anything more serious. They always think of the worst case scenario. What will happen to you if you ever found that the thing that you're keeping from anyone else, it was dear to you, it's out there, and it's not you who said the story. So they will use it. This will be the key to actually lock you up. So these are the second kind of prison that most people are. Now, the other kind of prison is whereby victims of this kind of people had enough of all their bulldozing, domineering character. They had too much of that, and one day they stand up for whatever they think is right and say, if I don't defend myself, I'm going to be dead meat. And then that person is punished by law, because they end up taking the life of the person that has been really threatening their own. And since this person is a double face, they know no one will believe, and they have repeatedly been told by this domineering, manipulative spouse that you are like this, and everyone knows it. I'm the only one who can stand you out there. No one really cares. So I'm the only one who cares about you. So when now they're abusing you over and over and over, actually, it is you now who is working hard to actually tell the public that this is a nice person. You become the devil's advocate. Yeah, you tell people this is a very nice person. He's so good. He's so generous. He really gives. He really loves unconditionally. And see, look at what he's done for me. And whenever they do their worst, they normally are very good. They come up with gifts. You can get car keys just like that. What happened? Yeah, just know what, either he's done something seriously grave, but you may not stomach it, and then they make peace with that gift. Or just before they do that, what they wanted to do, they will surprise you either with a ticket. Let us fly, go to Dubai. That's when he wants to go and plant churches, if he's the promiscuous ones also. He's not promiscuous because he wants to be unfaithful, because he wants validation that he is desired. So if you are on couple or in a relationship with this kind of personality, you are in you actually have a long way to walk. And that walk you'll be walking alone with people around you, people seeing nothing. The worst comes to happen when the person you are dealing with decides if you are going to quit them, then it is still death do us part, and they make it happen. When they make it happen, they make a face outside that no one will sense the trouble. You will be the one seeing the trouble, the gaslighting, the way they will provoke you. They know this hurts you and they will provoke you. They put you to the edge so that you become aggressive. And when you are aggressive like that, okay, in case you survive, people will sympathize with the person because the person in public looks humble, weak. He can't hurt anyone. So yeah, he's not the person you're telling us. No, you're mistaken. You must have done something. So they have already created that just in case things fall apart. Yeah. So it is necessary to have some kind of education on how to identify this kind of people, their gaslighting technique, if they're the quiet type, the silent ones, yeah, we call them silent killers, yeah, because they have the very best technique of trying to portray themselves as angels and saints, and then for you they are the devil that no one has met. And surely no one ever met that devil, because it's only you who live with that person and you're the only one who knows that. So woe unto you if you try to even paint them black. It is you who will look crazy. And if you are to tread them before the law, in case they don't up taking you out, they will actually make a fool of you. All this time you are in a relationship, they will be trying to involve you with some kind of, they'll be involving you with some kind of evidence, control evidence that they have been recording you in secret and you do not know. So if you do not know and they're recording you in secret, yeah, they're recording you in secret and you do not know. And remember, this is your spouse, so you're supposed to be very, very faithful to this kind of person, because you think you should have confidence in them, but they are actually digging your grave as they actually prepare for what is next that is coming. Yeah, you may not know. They may just be appearing and disappearing. A little good example of someone who will appear and disappearing in the same film, How to Get Away with Murder. Yeah, you find a little boy who killed when he was a little boy because he wanted to get rid of the problem as a child. So if my mother is being threatened to be taken to prison, if I shot her, maybe she will go to hospital and not prison. And book, he did it, and then he had to live with that. Live with that guilt. Now, in court, it was very difficult for the judge, because how can a little child who is barely 3 check out their own parents and, oh, okay, what do you do to this child? That child needs help, needs parenting, and is put in a foster family, and he grows up, and the foster family made sure they knew nothing. They knew nothing about the incident. Nobody knew about it. So, of course, the mind is a magnificent thing. Us now comes to the topic, the real one, trauma. How far can we go with trauma? How far are we determined to go with trauma? Because it is this trauma of one person that something happened to them, something they really didn't deal with it fully, and they end up adopting a certain kind of face, and this face which they adopt becomes that new person. That new person could be the biggest do-gooder. They could be acting like Mother Teresa to try and actually overcome that abandonment that they were abandoned when they were children. You see, what is inside you, what you are full of, is actually what now you will actually be trying to defend. It becomes your big cause. So if you try to get rid of someone and you know all the techniques, when you become a lawyer, what do you become? A criminal lawyer to actually defend the people who who possibly could kill, because you know the mind, you understand the planning, you have been there. Now, a traumatized person also, they have their way of coping. And this way of coping is what now we observe the person and we say this person is very shy, never expresses themselves, or this person is too loud and very, very aggressive. Why are they like that? Why can't they just be normal? Why do they talk so loud? Yeah, like we notice like some people that are very, like they had a very, very serious trauma. Even if they are your teacher, when they're talking to you, they must shout, and they shout you down. They're not shouting to shout to be heard. They are shouting to shut you down. And in some cases, if you notice if this person is a sales representative and they're trying to talk to you, they will talk faster, 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 quickly manipulate you, give you no time to think, so that you do not even throw something, because they are not ready for a no. They cannot handle a no. And if you give them a no, you'll be surprised what you see. Now, trauma happens in many, many forms. It can be trauma from a breakup. It can be trauma because your parents split, you're a child and you didn't know what happened. It should be a trauma because you just realized growing up as a child that no one really desired to have you. And the moment you confront that truth, then that truth becomes very, very painful. And if that truth becomes very, very painful, then you are there. You are there with something to deal with, because that other new person that you become is what the people in the world will be seeing. Now, they can see that very nice, humble, full of humility, trying to make peace with everyone, when inside you have a storm of unfinished business. There's something they did to me, and that was so bad, and I wish I could do something about it. Now, the opposite is what they'll be reflecting when they're outside. This is very, very scary, because now, if this person happens to be your partner, God you if you try to do something that they actually do not like. So shortly, if I finish this part one, if you have a child that is dealing with difficulty in expressing themselves, they happen to be timid, very, very shy, or they refuse to talk. If they are not autistic, then that child has a serious trauma they're dealing with. It could be violence in the home. It could be violence at school, bullying. Yeah. It could be someone that is very, very close to you who is physically or psychologically abusing that child, and they lose expression. I walked into my sister's house, and I noticed the child is not speaking anymore. The sound disappeared because there was a house help in the house. She was a double. Yeah, she was very, very manipulative, and she was really mistreating this boy. And whenever the boy was to try even and raise a voice, she would actually threaten to, I will kill your father and your mother and eat you. And that is a child. They don't know if you can do it or not. People do this all manner of things in the name of raising up children, but it was very, very wrong, because he stopped talking and he stayed for 5 years. He was mum, not talking at all, not talking at all. He just kept nodding, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, because of that situation where the child didn't know what to do. If I talk, I'm dead. Then I better never talk. The voice went. That is how severe trauma can be. Now, if that child does nothing happens to him, but I'll be glad my sister handled it very, very well. If that child, nothing really happens to him, and the child ends up growing into an adult, either he will become the aggressive, the domineering type to protect himself from future threats, or the child will be very, very conservative, kinder an introvert, with a potential possibility of dealing with you in the manner which they were promised by that threat that they had in that trauma. So abuse comes in different forms, and that will be our topic this afternoon. So if you watch it a little bit, you tell your friends and tell your friends to tell your friends that this is the Friday of the big bench happening now. So we'll be dealing with, in that session, signs that all is not going on well, anxiety, its causes, and how to deal with it. Spread word round and catch up with us in the next video.